Hey there guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII. In the last episode we got everyone out of the Vile Peaks and made our way into the new area, the Gapra Whitewood. And we are just a short ways into the Gapra Whitewood. Right after you go through the blue door is where we left off. So go ahead and take the elevator down to the lower level. We are now at the Bioweapon Research Site D. So go ahead and press on.
Creatures here too. They're a little different from the military. This is an army facility for turning wildlife into weapons.
Civilians aren't allowed in here, are they?
We'll have to be sure and tell them if we see any.
Alright, so as you head into the Bioweapons Research Facility, you'll get a quick tutorial on the wildlife auto-containment paddocks. Pretty much you're going to see some electric barriers as you try to pass through this area. And in order to go further, you're going to have to take care of all of the enemies in the facility before that electric barrier will disappear. So pretty much you're going to have to take out all the enemies you see in order for that electric barrier to disappear so that you can move on. So let's go ahead and take care of this first silver lobo here.
Let's keep this up.
Alright, after you take care of this guy, go ahead and move on. And before we go any further, let me just give you guys a quick note. If you want to stay at the same level of Crystarium I am, you might want to go ahead and backtrack a little bit before heading into this area and fight a couple enemies. I went and gathered 1,000 CP, 1,000 extra CP, so that I could max out Lightning and Hope's Crystarium. So I've maxed out all of the rolls as far as they can go for Lightning and Hope. And if you want to do that, all it takes is like an extra 1,000 CP. As long as you've been CP grinding where I told you guys to CP grind at, we should be right out the same track. However, before going into this area, I would suggest to get about 1,000 CP. You can do this by fighting the enemies around. And yeah, once you got 1,000 CP, go ahead and max out all the characters' Crystariums. You're going to have to max them out to the fullest, getting every node on there. And then all these fights that you're going to be doing afterwards, where we're at now, you'll just be stacking up your CP for whenever the Crystarium expands further. So you'll pretty much get a jump start whenever the Crystarium expands, because we've already maxed everything out as far as it'll go at this point. Also, the equipment that I have, you might want to take note of this. For the weapon, I have the Hawkeye, which we found right up top at the Gapra Whitewood. I have the Magician's Mark, which increases magic by 20, and the Silver Bangle, which increases max HP by 100. And then for Lightning, I have the Gladius weapon, the Power Wristband, which increases strength by 20, and the Silver Bangle, which increases her HP by 100. For the Paradigms, I have Slash and Burn, which is the Ravager Commando combo, War and Peace, which is Medic and Commando, Super Soldier, which is Synergist and Commando, Dual Casting, which is Ravager, Double Dose, Medic, and Yin and Yang, Ravager and Medic. Once you're set up like I am and you've CP grinded enough, go ahead and push forward.
I can do this. No problem.
Alright, after taking out the second set of enemies, the first electric barrier should be down. Go ahead and pass through where it was and jump down for some more enemies.
Would this work better, Light? How about this, Light?
I've got your back.
Alright, that'll take care of them. Now go ahead and head directly forward for the next set of enemies.
Way to go.
Alright, after taking out that set of enemies, continue ahead and jump up the small step. And look to the right for a group of enemies guarding a treasure ball. Let's go ahead and take them out real quick so we can claim that treasure ball as a reward.
That's it,
I did it!
Alright, after smashing them enemies, go ahead and open up the treasure ball for 6 antidotes. Directly ahead, you'll see the second electrical barrier, guarded by 4 more crawlers.
Stay down!
Alright, defeating them will cause the second electrical barrier to go down. Go ahead and jump down the steps. start smashing enemies.
Stay down. That's it, Hope.
Alright, after taking care of the enemies, continue along the path. And shortly ahead, you'll get caged in by an electric barrier.
Caged in like the animals.
And here you'll have to fight a feral behemoth, which is a new type of behemoth. Just go ahead and proceed like you normally would. Use the commando to power chain the stagger gauge. And then switch over to Ravengers in order to stagger it.
Come on, Light.
Don't neglect healing though, or else you might have to retry the battle, because he's got some pretty powerful physical attacks.
I've got your back.
Thanks.
And watch out for Heave, because it does massive damage.
Maybe we should try something else. We can win this! Come on, Light!
Oh,
sorry.
and we got massacred
I can't
because
do
he
this.
heaved Hope. God. I'm gonna have to retry it. That's why it's very important to stay on top of healing, because Heave does massive damage.
Caged in like the animals.
Alright, so once you stagger it, stay into Ravager and boost up that chain percentage up to about 300. And then you can switch back to Slash and Burn to finish it off with one stagger. Alright, so that takes care of him.
We've tripped the security alarm. The observation battalion will be coming.
Let him come.
Alright, after you defeat the Feral Behemoth, go ahead and follow the path and jump up the steps. Here you'll find a strange purple plant that you can jump up. At the top you'll find the third electric barrier, guarded by 10 crawlers. These guys are going to give you a pretty good amount of CP.
That's it, Hope. Yes.
Thank
I got your back. Just another battle.
After defeating the crawlers, the third electric barrier will go down. Go ahead and proceed to the destination marker for a short scene.
Take 5. What's eating you? Okay, I can tell you're hung up on something. Is it the Lassie thing? It's Snow, isn't it? What happened with him?
You wouldn't understand.
You and I are partners, Hope.
My mother was killed because of him. It's his fault. And he needs to pay for it. I'm not ready yet, but I will be soon. That's why I followed you. Snow dragged us all into this. You and me, your sister Sarah. He's gotta pay.
Alright, after the
Gotta be
scene,
stronger.
I'll take the lead.
Lightning will be back as the party leader. Thank God.
Time to move.
Go ahead and jump down the other side of the plant. And just at the bottom you'll find a save point. And that's going to conclude this episode of Final Fantasy XIII. Now I just thought of a very good way to get some Crystarium points very fast. Since there's a save point here, you can save your game and then press start and then select in order to quit to the main menu after you've saved your game, and then reload up this save and you'll be right here. Then you can jump back up this plant and fight those 10 crawlers for 260 CP per fight. If you want to catch up to where I'm at and even go past where I'm at on this Crystarium and gather up 1,000, 2,000, even 3,000 Crystarium points, there's a very quick way to do it. So again, just go up here, save your game, and once you've saved your game, press start, select, and quit to the main menu. Then reload up your game, run back up this plant, and fight them 10 crawlers for 260 Crystarium points per fight. So if you do that, you can catch up to my 1,000 Crystarium points that I am ahead in 4 fights, which is very fast. It'll take like 2 or 3 minutes. So yeah, that's a great way to max out your Crystarium, and I highly suggest to max out your Crystarium now, so that whenever it expands to stage 4, because we're on stage 3 now, you'll be able to immediately purchase as many upgrades as possible. So if you want, you can do that. You'd only have to fight about 4 different fights in order to catch up to where I'm at. And then if you want, you can go past where I'm at. And that way, when the Crystarium stage 4 is unlocked, you can purchase a lot of and develop your characters a lot as soon as it's unlocked. And just remember, the Crystarium that you gather now goes towards all your characters. So it's not only going to be Lightning and Hope with a lot of Crystarium points stacked up, but everyone will have a lot of Crystarium points. So that's just a thought if you guys are trying to catch up, and I would highly recommend doing it just so that you can max out your Crystarium at stage 3, because there's going to be some very tough battles coming up and you're going to want that edge. But that's it for this episode, guys. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII.